Taliban pressed on with their sweeping offensive across Afghanistan. At least 3 rockets struck Kandahar airport in southern part of the country. According to the Kandahar airport chief, Massoud Pashtun, 3 rockets were fired at the airport and 2 of them hit the runway. Due to this, all flights from the airport have been cancelled. Waging fierce battles, the Taliban have stepped up their pressure on several cities, particularly the provincial capitals. The attack on Kandahar airport came as the Taliban inched closer to overrunning 2 other provincial capitals, Herat in the west and Lashkar in the south. The fighters have entered parts of these 3 major cities where heavy fighting has now intensified. Kandahar's airbase is vital to providing the logistics and air support needed to keep the Taliban fighters from occupying Afghanistan's second biggest city. Some reports also reveal that Kandahar is at high risk of falling to the Taliban. This, according to Afghanistan Parliament member Gul Ahmad. Kandahar is seen as a major focal point by the Taliban, as the city may be turned into the Taliban's temporary capital. Ahmad has called the fighting within the city the most severe in 20 years. The Taliban have seized scores of districts across Afghanistan, including in Herat province, where the group has also captured 2 border crossings adjoining Iran and Turkmenistan. A day after the United Nations compound came under attack in Herat, Afghan government and Taliban forces clashed again on the outskirts of the western city. Herat Governor Abdul Sabur Kwani has said most of the fighting was in the Injil and Gazara districts, where the airport is located. Now, all flights have been cancelled at the Herat airport on the second day of the clashes between the government forces and the Taliban. Renewed fighting on the outskirts of Herat has led to hundreds fleeing their homes to seek shelter closer to the Herat city centre.
ما کوشش‌های زیاد کردیم که از مردم حفاظت کنیم. طالبان اکثرا در خانه‌های ملکی پناه بردن و از اونجا می‌خواهند که حمله کنند و حمله هم کردند. ما عملیات ما را بسیار با دقت انجام میدیم تا از تلفات ملکی جلوگیری شود.
نهایت تلاش داریم، امیدواریم که ان شاء الله دشمن را بکنیم که طوری سرکوب بشن که به شهر داخل شده نکنند. از مردم تقاضا داریم که حمایت کنند، بخصوص هر کسی که اسلحه داره از
Fighting is also underway in Lashkar Gah, the capital of Helmand province. The city is under a large-scale Taliban attack. Government forces also called an airstrike near a hospital in Lashkar Gah. Officials say that the hospital had been seized earlier by the Taliban to treat its wounded fighters. According to residents, Taliban fighters took over the Ariana Afghan specialty hospital to treat those hurt. The owner of a private hospital in Afghanistan said the Afghan Air Force bombed the facility, killing 1 person and injuring 3 others.
هر هغه ساحه چې هغه امن منفعه ساحه ده او هغه د افغانستان د آینده ساحه ده په هغه باندې خلک وسه کېږي د خدای په خاطر باندې له دوی دواړو موږ د توکل او خواهش لرو چې دا کار دې نه کوي دا دې نه تخریبوي دولت دې احتیاط وکړي او طالب دې احتیاط وکړي طالب د هغو ځایو څخه استفاده نه کوي دولت دې هغه ځایونه نه بمبروي ځکه اول زه درته وایم چې په دې کې زما څومره سرمایه زما در بدره سو برباد سو څومره خلک زما سره اوس بېکاره کېږي بیا به څومره وخت بعد زه خپل ځان بېرته جوړوم خپل ځان به دغه عادي حالت ته راولم یعنې دا ډېر د افسوس ځای دی.
Violence has surged across the country as the US ends its chapter in the war-torn country. The terror group attacked a United Nations compound in Herat. 1 Afghan guard was fatally shot and others were injured. Offensive on Herat is a violation of the agreement signed last year in Doha, under which the Taliban pledged to avoid attacks on major cities. Our Pakistan Bureau Chief Anas Malik sent us a report on this.
The Taliban continue with their fresh offensive towards three major cities, one that being in Lashkargah, the capital of Helmand, the other being in Kandahar, the birthplace of Mullah Omar, and the third being in Ghazni. This is a fresh offensive where the Taliban seems to have changed their strategy, where they're now going towards major cities instead of associated districts. The Afghan government has sent reinforcements to Lashkargah in order to prevent the fall of the provincial capital of Helmand as well. They are trying to put up a fight. They are resisting the Taliban attack, and the Taliban seem to have been much more organized, and the scale of this attack was much more intense. This is what local sources say. The fighting continues between Taliban and the Afghan forces in a bid to secure major cities. Anas Malik in Afghanistan for WION World is One.
WION now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.